top 10 ESL companies to work for today in 2020. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Stay tuned right now. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Ashley Tess, and if you're new here, I make videos about making money online, working from home, affiliate marketing, and teaching online. So if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button down below, that notification bell, so you can be notified every time I make a new video for you to learn and enjoy. So, top 10 ESL companies, getting started right now. Disclaimer here. So, as I'm talking about these top 10 ESL companies, these are all my own opinions. I have different criteria to make how I made this list. Remember, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. If you don't agree with me, you don't agree with me. But I'm going to give you my top 10 recommendations for ESL companies today in 2020. If you have a different opinion, please feel free to share. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your experiences. Maybe we have differences of opinion, but it's always nice to hear other people's experiences with different companies. So leave a comment down below. Let's get started with number 10. My top 10 recommendation for ESL companies is Tutor Group, number 10. I chose Tutor Group as number 10 because I feel like they are a good beginner company. Their application process is really easy. I find that is a good pro. I also like that they do have options. If you wanted to try to teach classes, they have options for 24/7. But the one thing with that is you do have to do their peak hours to be able to teach with them. That was something for me. I couldn't do their peak hours. So I couldn't be able to teach those other off-peak hour times 24/7 classes that they do offer. But if that is something you could do with their peak hours, I do find that it is pretty good if you are looking for a beginner company. Their pay isn't too bad. I put them as number 10 because that I have heard some mixed opinions about Tutor Group, meaning that your pay can kind of fluctuate based on different ratings you get from the students in your classes. And as you know, working with ESL, you're teaching a lot of younger kids, so they don't understand the rating system if they give you a bad rating. And your pay can kind of be tied to that rating system, I have heard. So that can be looked at as kind of a negative thing. I also have heard some mixed things about their contracts, meaning you thought you're getting a certain pay rate, but if you look closely at your contract, your pay can be a little bit different with teaching group classes, I have heard. So that's why I put them at number 10, but I still feel like they are a pretty good company with decent pay, pretty good lessons, don't seem too complicated. So good beginner company. Number 9, I chose Cambly. So if you want to know a whole depth review about Cambly, I have made a full review video about Cambly, how it works, and all that good stuff about different questions you might have about the company. So I will leave a link in the description if you want to know more about Cambly.com. But a quick little tidbit about them is that they're kind of a company where you can teach students from all over the world. They have what's called priority hours, where you can get random people calling you from different places. You talk to them for a given amount of time, and then you might get a new person calling you. You also can book classes, leaving your schedule open for certain times you want to teach, which I find that to be really nice. If you wanted to create your own perfect schedule of the different times you liked, you can open those time slots and different students can book with you. The one thing about Cambly is that their pay is just about $10 an hour. So, you know, could be better, but they make it pretty flexible if you do want to choose your own hours to work with, which I find that pretty neat. Something with Cambly though is that they don't provide you curriculum like a lot of the other companies do. So you have to make your own lessons or, different materials that your students want to use and learn, which is good because most of your students will be adults. And, sometimes adults have specific needs and wants they want to learn. So you can tailor your lessons to your students. So that's why I chose Cambly for number 9. Also a good, pretty good beginner company. They don't require a bachelor's degree, I believe. They just want you to be a native English speaker. So let's get to number 8. Number 8, I chose Palefish. And Palefish is an app that you download on your phone or your tablet. You don't really use it on your computer. And that's because they have a lot of the face filters they want you to use to interact with the students. And this that I'm talking about with Palefish is the official kids course. So there's kind of 2 different parts of Palefish, but if you are wanting to teach ESL with the official kids course, they pay about $14 to $22 an hour, which is pretty good. And all of the lessons are on the app. I think the curriculum is pretty good. They make it really easy. There's lots of teacher guides to tell you what you should say and how the lesson should go. And it can be pretty interactive with different tools that they have on the app, especially with the face filters, which is kind of nice. But a few things is, I personally didn't like using it on my phone. I found it to be kind of hard to read some of the things in the lessons. And it's also a little bit hard to use your finger as like a pen. But if you had a tablet, I believe it probably would be so much easier, but I don't, so I use it on my phone, which could be a little bit harder. But if you don't mind that, I feel like it could be easier if you travel a lot. You can just, make sure you have service on your phone and you'd be able to teach anywhere just using your phone with Palefish. Some negatives with Palefish is that I found it to be a bit hard to get my schedule booked when you first start out. It's like a social media app, so you kind of have to really put yourself out there, getting to know parents, encouraging them to try to book with you, showing them different pictures you can post, different videos you can post. They have also the reading app where Palefish encourages you to post videos of yourself reading or having different live classes where you post different lives of you doing, fun things, reading or doing a fun activity, which encourages parents to attend your fun live class so they can see what you're all about, so they can start booking classes with you. I found that it was a lot of marketing that I didn't really have time to do besides, teaching the classes. But if you wanted to, put that effort in and try to get those parents to book with you, a lot of them like to book many classes in advance. So it's not just one class. If they like you, then they could book with you, 4, 5, 6 weeks in advance or longer, which is nice to build up your schedule. So I don't think it's a bad company, but I do think it's a bit hard when you first start out to get your bookings pretty full. But I still think it's a pretty good beginner company. The application is really easy. Same thing, you apply through the app, and even the interview is recorded, so you don't have that pressure of someone watching you in your lesson. They just provide you the lesson, you go through the app, you teach your lesson as you would if a student was with you, and you can try to apply, see if it works. So I do think that Palefish is a good company for number 8. Okay, number 7 could be
controversial, possibly.
If you've been in the ESL world for a while. And I'm saying this because I am choosing VIPKid for number 7. And I'm saying this because I feel like recently some things, are a little bit different. And As you know, if you have been teaching ESL for quite some time, VIPKid has been kind of like the original company that has started, teaching English online to children. So they have been around for quite some time. They're one of the bigger companies. And I do feel like if you have been with them for a while, when they first started, a few years, I feel like, the company is probably a little bit better for you, You have, I've heard like, the perks of, your scheduling. You definitely have those good referral codes that get you the extra money per month. And as a new teacher, I find that it could be a little bit harder. From what I've been hearing, if you are a new teacher working with VIPKid, you aren't getting as many bookings as you would like. It's kind of like a similar situation where you're kind of competing with other teachers for bookings to build up your schedule. So that could be a little bit of a negative thing. I also have just heard recently they have changed their pay scale system, which I'm hearing not many good things from teachers. So, that's why I chose them for number 7. I still feel like they're a good original company, but I have kind of heard some negative things more from the newer teachers per se, not so much as a teacher working there for quite some time. I also have heard from, the older teachers that have been there, their lessons are kind of the same thing over and over, which I guess that's kind of with every company. If you're there a while, you're going to be teaching the same lessons, but I'm hearing that it's a lot of, reading or vocabulary. Also, your classes are just with one student, which a lot of them are, but there's some companies that have more than one student in your class. So, take that as what you want to take it as, pro or con. But I chose VIPKid for number 7. I still feel like they are a good company. Any of these companies, the more effort you put into it, the more you'll get out of it, especially with bookings and working with parents. But I feel like there are other options that might get you more bookings if you are a newer teacher. So that's why I'm choosing VIPKid for number 7. Number 6 is QKidz, and I'm choosing QKidz because every time I hear from a teacher working at QKidz, I hear that they really love it. They love the company. They love everything about it. And I haven't really heard any negative things, honestly, about QKidz. And there's always some negative things about some companies, but I haven't really heard anything negative about QKidz. I know their pay is $18 an hour, I believe. If I'm wrong, comment below, let me know. And I also know that the company books classes for you, which is easier to build up your schedule compared to other companies. So I find that to be a really good pro, where your classes are booked for you, $18 an hour. There's probably bonuses. Most all companies have bonuses, to raise your pay per month. The only thing with QKidz, I looked into them. For me, they didn't have enough peak hours to really make it worth my while. Some companies have the same peak hours, but, fluctuating a few hours, give or take, per week. But for me, I didn't see enough peak hours for them. That was really the reason for me. I didn't exactly apply with them, but I have heard really good things about QKidz. So if you are interested, I would suggest trying to look more into QKidz to see if it works for you. I also hear good things with their lessons, their curriculum that they use. So lots of good things with QKidz for number 6. Number 5 is going to be Magic Ears. I'm putting them for number 5 because they are a company that have a pretty decent pay scale. I believe they go up to $24, $26 an hour, which is pretty high in our ESL world, teaching per hour. And I also heard some good things about them. Their pay is high. I believe they book for you. I could be wrong. Please comment below. Let me know your experience if you do work with Magic Ears. And I know that when I was looking into them, they are more geared to the younger students, the students that are, you know, just learning to read, basic phonics skills. So they're geared more to younger students, I believe. So if that's your thing and you like working with the really young ones, might be a good company for you. Also, I think Magic Ears, I have heard some things that they're kind of really, what's the word I should say?
They expect a lot from you. They
expect a lot from their teachers. That is what I've heard. It's not necessarily a negative thing, but I have heard that, you know, they have high expectations for their teachers, you know, to smile, to, you know, do certain things in the classroom that they expect. So that's something that, you know, all companies have expectations, but I've heard more specifically from Magic Ears that they do have high expectations of you to do certain things while you're teaching. So not necessarily a bad thing, but that's what I have heard. So that's why I chose Magic Ears for number 5. Number 4 is going to be GoGoKid. And GoGoKid is fairly new. They've been here maybe 2-3 years. And I have been hearing that many VIP kids have been jumping over to GoGoKid. And I think they are a pretty decent company. I've heard lots of good things with GoGoKid. I liked their lesson plans. It's pretty interactive with different songs and different things that you can do in their platform. So I think GoGoKid is pretty nice. A few things that is that they don't book your classes for you. So they're another company where you are kind of competing with other teachers to build up your schedule over time. So it could be a little bit harder to start getting hours when you're first starting out. But from teachers that have been there for a while, I have heard that, you know, the more you do it and the more slots you open, the easier it is to start booking regulars to make your schedule. But for me, I want a regular schedule. I don't have patience to wait. So that's just my opinion, but I've heard good things from other teachers that they really do enjoy GoGoKid. Their pay is pretty good. I believe 16 to about 22 an hour. I heard their bonuses are pretty good. They also have a new pay scale system with different points. I looked into it. I was a bit confused. If you work for GoGoKid, maybe you can explain in the comments as well about the kind of point system that they do for bonuses. But it seems like it could be really nice, the way that they do their bonuses. Basically, the more hours you work, the higher bonus pay you'll get. That's what I have tried to understand with it. But another thing with GoGoKid is that they do require you to teach with 2 props a lesson. My opinion, I don't really prefer props. That's just me. I know some teachers love it. But for me, I want to focus on the lesson, the material, the students, you know, lots of TPR, you know, or if you have props with you, that's fun too. But for every lesson to have 2 props, to me, that's just like an added stress. I know other teachers, they don't mind it, but, and that's something just to be aware of with 2 props every lesson. There are some other companies too that require props per lesson. Maybe someone can share in the comments. I know some of you might know some more companies that do require props. But that is why I am choosing number 4 for GoGoKid. Number 3 is Zebra English. And I'm choosing them for number 3 because, first of all, they are a fairly newer company. They haven't been around for too long. I believe maybe a year or slightly longer, but they haven't been around for that long. And they have a really high pay scale as well. I believe their starting pay is from 18 an hour to 26 an hour, something close to that range. So high pay rate. I also liked with Zebra English is that they book classes for you, so you can start getting more regulars for your scheduling and having a consistent schedule instead of where you're kind of in limbo some weeks with fluctuating times and scheduling. So I like that they booked for you with Zebra English. Quick reminder, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button down below. If you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And I would greatly appreciate it if this video is giving you value. Hit that thumbs up, like button, subscribe down below so we can keep learning and growing your knowledge. Let's get to number 2. Number 2, I'm choosing Outschool, number 2. Some of you might be like, huh? What is that? Never heard of Outschool. Outschool is kind of a totally different type of, website, school, company in general. So Outschool is very new. They have just started, I believe almost this year. And since kind of the pandemic has started, Outschool has just literally blown up. They've been having a hard time even keeping up with applications. First of all, Outschool is a great alternative if you kind of just want to teach literally anything, arts and crafts, music. You still want to teach English, you can do that. You want to teach Minecraft, you want to teach Disney, you want to teach, coding, you want to teach any other subject. Outschool lets you do that. And they are a website where they don't require you to have a teaching degree. They just want you to have experience working with children. So another good thing there. And with Outschool, you get to choose what classes you want to teach. It's kind of like a Zoom type platform where you hold your online classes and students can book with you. You can have, small groups, you can have, larger groups. I've seen classes up there to about 20 kids in your class, which could be nice. But the really, really good thing about Outschool is that you can make really good money. And I say this because you are charging students per class. So if you have 10 students in your class and you're charging them $10 for one class, you're making $100 an hour. 10 times 10. I can do basic math, right? $100 an hour for 10 kids. And sometimes these classes, you can book with them. You can have them for, longer periods of time. So you might offer a course that's 2 weeks long, 3 weeks long for the same time, the same day, the same students that will have you consistently for that time period. So pretty good if you are charging per class. Totally different from an ESL company where you're just making per hour, not even if you have more than one student in your class. So this is how people are really making really good money, because you're charging per student per hour for your class, which you can decide what you want to teach. The company, the website just has to approve your content that you want to teach. But literally, if you want to search on there, any different topic, there's so much content out there that, parents are jumping on this website to get, more classes for their students because, their kids are more at home. They want to learn different things. And, we're not really going to schools as much now. So it is a really good place for parents, teachers, make a lot of money, hop on there, start your courses. I've heard really good things from teachers using Outschool, so that's why I'm choosing them for number 2. One negative thing is that, you have to make your own curriculum. So if you put the time into it, parents will like you, obviously, and they'll want to book more classes with you. So I would, make your lessons really fun, really interactive. Students like that, parents like it. Jump on there. That's why I chose them for number 2, very lucrative opportunity for Outschool. The moment you have been waiting for, my top number 1 recommendation for top 10 ESL companies is Wales English. Yay! I choose Wales English because that is the company I currently am working for. I chose them because I really like that they book my classes for me. All classes are 30 weeks long, meaning I don't have to worry about, you know, how many classes I'm gonna have this week. I have a consistent schedule. Most of my time slots are booked. I can have a recurring monthly income that's pretty much the same. They have really high bonus pay, monthly bonus programs. You know, the more hours you teach, the higher your bonus is. I can make, you know, an extra 200, 300 a month based just on bonuses. And their pay is really high. They start between 18 an hour to 26 an hour as well. You can move up. They have raises once a year, just like I know other companies have raises as well. But I also really like the curriculum with Wales English. Their curriculum flows nicely. They have different courses you can teach, different levels you can teach. So if you really like working with the younger students, you can work with them. If you want to work with the older students, more on literature or, you know, different higher level curriculum, you can teach that as well. So I find that to be a little bit more flexible, and instead of just teaching the same levels or something like that. But if you want a more in-depth review about Wales English, I will leave a link in the description about that video as well. I cover more a full depth of a whole review, pros and cons of Wales English if you are interested, and why I chose them for my top number 1 recommendation for top ESL companies. So did you subscribe yet? Did you hit that subscribe button right now, right there? Did you wait for the whole video to hit that subscribe button and that like button? Hope you did. If you have any questions in general, please leave me a comment down below. I will try to answer the best I can. If you want to share your experiences with any of these companies or any other companies you may work for that you want to share for all of us to learn about, that would be great. Leave a comment as well. And make sure you do hit that subscribe button, because I will be making more videos about content like this, making money online, working from home in general, and so you can start making more money. So check out those videos down below and leave me a comment.